I'm just gonna go through the ebooks that I have on hold, which is 25 ebooks. And a lot of the times, every time one of those ebooks comes up as available, I delay it because I literally can't remember why I put it on hold. Hello. My name's Isabel. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be starting part 1 of a 3-part series of cleaning out my Libby hold. For those of you who don't know, Libby is an app that you can download on your phone or smart device and connect to your library through your library card. And you are able to check out ebooks and audiobooks via the app. And it's really nice. You can send those ebooks to your Kindle or e-reader. I'm absolutely obsessed with my Libby app. It's a free way to get books. It's kind of a no-brainer, and it supports your local library. So I always love talking about Libby. I'm always trying to get my friends on Libby. If you would ever be interested in a tutorial on Libby, how to use it, its different features, I would be so happy to do that. So let me know if you would ever be interested in that. But basically, part of the Libby app features is that you can place holds on books like you can at your normal physical library. So, your library only has a certain amount of copies of each material. So say my library has 5 copies on Libby of Silver Elite and all 5 are checked out right now. I can place that ebook on hold and be in line. Usually the Libby app will tell you the hold's going to be about 5 weeks versus several months. So you kind of have an idea of whether or not it's worth using up one of your hold slots to place a book on hold. And typically each library has a certain amount of holds that you can have. So I belong to 3 libraries on my Libby app, which is so nice. So I have 35 hold slots available. So currently I have 10 audiobooks on hold. And as I've said in earlier videos, I recently got into listening to audiobooks. Like, the first audiobook I ever listened to was earlier in May. So I know that all those audiobooks that I put on hold recently, I know exactly what those audiobooks are about and why I put them on hold. So I'm not going to go through my audiobooks today. I'm just going to go through the ebooks that I have on hold, which is 25 ebooks. And a lot of the times, every time one of those ebooks comes up as available, I delay it because I literally can't remember why I put it on hold. I'll be on TikTok and somebody will be like, this book gives this aesthetic, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool, place hold. I have no idea what the book's about. So then when it comes available, I just delay the hold because I'm like not excited or looking forward to it, and I'm like, I don't even remember why I put this on hold. So we're going to do a little spring cleaning. We're going to go through each of my 25 books on hold and decide together if I should keep that or free up a hold slot. So we're going to do the first 8 today. Otherwise, this would be a really long video. Okay, so I went on Fable and I found the different ratings of all these books that I have on hold. I have a Goodreads account and a Fable account. Right now, I'm exclusively using my Fable account. I just like the user experience so much better on Fable. I like that I'm able to track, like, I read today and then track what percentage of the way I am through the book, which I know you can do that on Goodreads too, but it's been so fun because a lot of my friends are on Fable, and so we can constantly like stalk each other, and if we're reading the same book, make sure to not give each other spoilers by accident. I also really like that Fable has like a did not finish list, which is really helpful. I've been really enjoying Fable. Plus, what I have found is Goodreads reviews can be pretty harsh, and I think sometimes people can be a little too picky about the books they read. I get that some people are reading books from a literature point of view where they're trying to find really well-written, well-meaning books that bring them knowledge of the world, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for a fun little adventure. I'm here for a giggle. I'm here for some romance. Like, I really don't need this to be the best book ever written. And so sometimes I've found that Goodreads has deterred me from reading books because the reviews will be so bad. Then I read it later and I actually really enjoyed that book. Fable has been a little more chill on their reviews. People are a little more forgiving, I've found. And so I do trust Fable a little bit more when it comes to what rating people give different books. So that's why I chose Fable to get my ratings. The way I'm doing this series, I'm going from books that will be available soonest to books that I have to wait several months for. I think that if there's a book that I have to wait several months for and I'm really not excited about it, that will help me say, nope, let's free up that hold slot. So we're starting with earliest available. All of these books will be available to me within the next month. So the first book is The Wedding People. It has a 4.14 star rating on Fable. My mom actually recommended this book to me. I do remember her doing that. And she said it was really funny and she thought I would enjoy it. My mom and I trust her taste a lot, and when my mom says something's good, it's usually really good, but she and I have pretty different taste in books, so I think that has dissuaded me a little bit from reading it. So this is The Wedding People by Alison Espach. This book is a humor fiction is what Libby has tailored it as. So this is the description. It's a beautiful day in Newport, Rhode Island, when Phoebe Stone arrives at the Grand Cornwall Inn wearing a green dress and gold heels, not a bag in sight, alone. She's immediately mistaken by everyone in the lobby for one of the wedding people, but she's actually the only guest at the Cornwall who isn't here for the big event. Phoebe is here because she's dreamed of coming for years. She hoped to shuck oysters and take sunset sails with her husband, only now she's here without him, at rock bottom, and determined to have one last decadent splurge on herself. Meanwhile, the bride has accounted for every detail and every possible disaster the weekend might yield for, except for, well, Phoebe and Phoebe's plan, which makes it that much more surprising when the two women can't stop confiding in each other. You know what? This does sound like something I would like. My mom was right. I am going to keep this on my holds list, and this sounds like a really good summer read too, and it definitely seems like a book that I will be laughing out loud at and also crying. So I think I'll have to be in a certain mood to read this book, but this seems like a really good book to read for this summer, so I will keep this on my holds list. The next book is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This book has 4.53 stars on Fable, and so I put this book on hold because Brandon Sanderson is like the ultimate fantasy final boss. I love fantasy, but I feel like what I've read in the past has been more romantic-y, and I wanted to challenge myself to read an actual fantasy book. But I think every time it comes up, first of all, I have no idea what it's about. I just saw on TikTok when people are breaking down, because he has like 1 billion books and he keeps releasing more and more. Everyone on TikTok was saying this book is the best one to start with when you start a Brandon Sanderson dive into his world. This is the series to start with. I think it's the Mistborn series. The cover is really cool. So anyways, let's find out what this book's about. Once a hero arose to save the world, he failed. Ever since, the world has been a wasteland of ash and mist controlled by the immortal emperor known as the Lord Ruler. But hope survives. A new uprising is forming, one built around the ultimate caper, the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind, and the determination of an unlikely heroine, a street urchin who must learn to master the power of a Mistborn. Really, not a ton of information, but it does sound really good and it sounds really interesting. And I like that it seems like the main character is a woman. Love that. So we are going to keep this on my holds list, and I hope that the next time it becomes available, I'm not going to be intimidated to start it. I am intimidated. I'm worried I'm not smart enough for this book, but I really, really do want to read it because I've heard he's an incredible author and an incredible world builder, and that just sounds amazing. I feel like all the fantasy books fantasy or romantasy books that I've read recently have just fallen so flat for me, including my current read, Shield of Sparrows. So it would be really nice to actually read like a fantasy book that just like grips me, you know? Okay, so I'm going to keep that one on my holds list. The next book on my holds list is a romance. It is called Give Me Butterflies by Jillian Meadows. It has 4.10 stars on Fable. So it says this is a romance humor fiction. I literally have no idea where I heard about this book. I don't think it was on TikTok. I have no idea. And I don't even know what it's about, but the cover is really cute. Oh, this is a STEM romance. I love a STEM romance. I do. I love when the female main character is like wicked smart and super knowledgeable about something. I just love that. So I don't remember where I saw it, but STEM romance up my alley. So here's the description. Millie was never one to take the expected path. She's an entomologist who loves her job as a natural science curator, inspiring museum visitors every day. It's her dream to take a larger role in the planning of her department, so when a director position opens up, she's determined not to let anything distract her from her goals, especially her grumpy coworker with his permanent scowl, electric blue eyes, and nerdy astronomy ties. Not that she spent too much time noticing any of those things. I already know I'm gonna eat this up. Eat it up. Finn doesn't mean to glare at everyone, but he's juggling his role at the museum, navigating the grief of losing his sister, attempting to make his nieces smile, and trying not to ruin dinner for the 5th night in a row. He can't afford to let anything slip, and certainly doesn't need anything more on his plate. Millie literally stumbling into him with her bright smile and sunny optimism is the last thing he needs. They want nothing to do with each other, but with Finn on the interview committee, avoidance is impossible. And Millie soon realizes it's one thing when a job is on the line, it's quite another when it's her heart. That one's an easy keep. We're going to keep this one on my list, and I'm actually really excited, so I hope it becomes available soon, because I think I'm going to check it out like ASAP. It sounds so cute. And the cover's so cute. Okay, I'm like really excited about that one. Okay, the next book on my list is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I swear I saw this on TikTok, and the girl was just saying, like, if you need a good mermaid horror book. And I was like, ooh. So let's see. The tags say that it's a fiction, fantasy, science fiction, mythology book. So I enjoy thrillers, and I like being a little spooked by a book, but I don't like horror. I don't like gore, and I don't like being like truly scared. And so I actually do avoid like horror books. And I think the reason that I've been putting this book off is because this cover looks like a horror book, but the tags don't say anything about horror, and I'm gonna trust Libby, and I think it's more like a thriller, fantasy, science fiction, mythology, which sounds right up my alley. So let's read the description. The ocean is home to many myths, but some are deadly. 7 years ago, the Argus set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a tragedy. Now, a new crew has been assembled, but this time they're not out to entertain. Some seek to validate their life's work. Some seek the greatest hunt of all. Some seek the truth. But for the ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage yet to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. Whatever the truth may be, it will only be found below the waves, but the secrets of the deep come with a price. Okay, that sounds really good, actually. Oh my gosh, that sounds really good. Also sounds like a good summer read, like a good like voyage, almost like Pirates of the Caribbean, but like mysterious. Okay, we're definitely gonna keep that one on my list. I'm not really cleaning my list up at all. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like boom, 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 you're gone. Nope, I'm like, oh, this sounds really good, let's keep it. Okay, so we are gonna keep that one on my list. And I am actually really excited to read that. That sounds like the perfect, like, maybe like late August, like transitioning to the fall season, which I'm gonna be honest, and you may hate this for me. For me, fall starts July 5th. I'm sorry, it does. I love fall, so. But this would be a good way to transition the warmer weather into the fall. So I will definitely be checking this one out. It sounds really good, and it sounds really unique. I haven't really heard of a book like this, so I am really excited for this one. Okay, next on my list is Silver Elite by Dani Francis. This has 4.02 stars on Fable. Okay, so I have heard so many conflicting things about this book. I don't think I'm going to read it anytime soon. Again, I'm reading Shield of Sparrows by Devony Perry, and I have been slightly disappointed with it. I have been very disappointed with all romantasy that I've tried to read recently, and I believe this is categorized as like a dystopian romantasy book. And I have heard so many people, I've heard some people really like it, but I've heard some people just having the same complaints that I have felt with recent romantasy releases, where it just, the world is not built up enough, the characters don't have much depth. And yes, so I have been putting this one off. The only reason I've kept it on my list is because I love being a part of the book talk conversation. I mean, I'm literally sitting silently, not leaving a comment on a lot of videos, but I just love like watching those videos and being like, yes, I feel the same way, or like hearing all the different theories and stuff like that. And so to be a part of that community again, that is the reason that I've left this book on my holds list. But again, I honestly don't really know what it's about. So let's read the description. Wren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her psychic abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Wren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy, she's forced to join their most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. But training for Silverblock can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living in close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. And whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. As the stakes grow ever higher, Wren must prove herself to Silverblock. But that's easier said than done when your commanding officer is the ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible Cross Redden, who doesn't miss anything when it comes to her. And as war rages between mods like her and those who aim to destroy them, Wren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself and how much of the continent is worth saving. Okay, again, like, if this wasn't a hot conversation on Book Talk right now, I don't think, like, if I was at Barnes & Noble and I picked this off the shelf and I was reading the back, I think I would put it back. It just doesn't sound unique enough to me. It sounds like a mix of, like, Divergent and The Uglies and, like, every book that we were obsessed with, but it doesn't really even have that, like, hook. Like, Divergent had all those different factions, and The Uglies had those kind of, like, pretty ugly dynamic thing going on. And this, I understand it's, like, modified, and she has psychic abilities, but it just, like, doesn't really catch my attention. I am going to leave this on my holds list, but I might keep putting it off. I think if I haven't checked it out by the end of the summer, I will remove it. But for now, I'll leave it on there just because I want to be talking about what everybody else is talking about. My next book on the list is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. On Fable, it has 3.91 stars. I read the original. This is the second book in the What the River Knows duology, and I absolutely loved that book. The characters were so dynamic. Their romance storyline was just so intense and, like, witty and funny but serious, and it was so good. And the writing was just beautiful. Like, it was poetic, and I really, really enjoyed that book. I think I read it in, like, 4 days. It was so good. It had twists and a really powerful female main character, and her love interest was so witty, and they were just, like, so fun. It was so fun to read. And I've just been putting this book off because I read the first one probably 2 years ago, and I don't really remember what happened. I remember the ending, and I remember there was, like, a twist near the end, and I remember that. But other than that, I can't really remember, like, before and what their goal was, and I can't really remember it, and I feel like it's going to be really important in the second book. And so I've been putting it off because I keep telling myself, I'm like, oh, I'll remember to, like, either look up a summary or find time to reread the first book, which I have not. But I honestly would, because I really enjoyed it, and because I don't really remember that much, it would be like reading it for the first time again. Anyways, I have been putting this book off. And yeah, so let's read the description. Inez Oliveira traveled across the world to Egypt seeking answers into her parents' recent and mysterious deaths. But all her searching led her down a perilous road filled with heartache, betrayal, and a dangerous magic that pulled her deep into the past. I don't remember magic. When Tio Ricardo issues an ultimatum about her inheritance, she's left with only one option to consider: marriage to Whitford Hayes. Former British soldier, he's her uncle's aide-de-camp and one-time nemesis. Whit has his own mysterious reasons for staying in Egypt. With her heart on the line, Inez may have to bind her fate to the one person whose secret plans could ruin her. I don't remember, like, a lot of that, and that's why I've been putting it off, because I really don't remember. And I'm just worried that I won't enjoy and like truly appreciate this book as much when I read it if the whole time I'm like, wait, what is that? Or like trying to like rack my brain to remember what happened. So I think I am going to take this one off my holds list until I actually find time to reread the first one. I just truly, this book was incredible in my opinion, and it did not get enough attention or love when it was released, and I don't think I would be doing it justice if I just dove right back into the second book. So I think I'm gonna take this off my holds list, but I will be reading at some point because I just absolutely loved the first one. So I do need to find time to read the first one. Okay, so that's one book off my holds list. Okay, the next book on my holds list, we got 2 more left in this video. The next one is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I love Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters world. I read the original, I think 4 books in the Shadowhunters series when they were coming out when I was like in middle school and high school. Oh my gosh, I ate them up. They were so good and so unexpected, and like the world was so cool. And I remember, like, you know, because they have runes that they kind of tattoo on themselves. Oh my god, I wanted a tattoo so badly when I was reading these books. Like, they were so cool. And then I read the Infernal Devices series. I think I read 3 of those books. I'm not sure if that's how many were originally out, because she would kind of like keep adding to all these different series that she's built, and I loved that series. I think I liked Infernal Devices even more than the first Shadowhunters. And I remember there's like this one scene, and it's not even that scary, in the Infernal Devices book. The suspense of this scene was so intense. Her writing it just takes you into the book so well. And when I was reading that scene, I remember actually like jumping. Like, there was a jump scare in a book and I jumped. Like, oh god, I love her. So anyways, I placed Lady Midnight on hold because I think this is the next series after the Infernal Devices, and I was like, oh, I want to read it. Then I saw on TikTok somewhere that someone was like, you have to read books 5 and 6, I believe, of the original Shadowhunters series, because those characters from those 2 books come into Lady Midnight. And so I've been putting it off ever since. I'm sad. I really want to read a Cassandra Clare book. Plot twist for the rest of this list, but I also have her Swordcatcher book, which I believe is an adult fantasy book. It's in her new series, and I don't think it ties into the Shadowhunter series, so let me read the description and see if I like semi understand what's going on. And if I don't, I'm like debating, should I look up books 5 and 6 and just like read a summary, because one of the ways that I tried to get back into reading was to reread the original Shadowhunters series. This was probably 5 years ago. I read the first 2 books, and the writing was just so juvenile that I wasn't enjoying it. Again, it is YA literature, so, you know, it's written correctly for the audience, but at the time I was craving more of an adult, mature book. So I gave up on that series, and I just don't think I can push myself to read 5 and 6 like in that series. So let me read this, and if I kind of understand, I may try and cheat and read like Wikipedia or a fan summary of 5 and 6. So hold on. This is the description. It's been 5 years since the events of City of Heavenly Fire that brought the Shadowhunters to the brink of oblivion. Uh-oh. I already don't know what's happening. Emma Carstairs is no longer a child in mourning, but a young woman bent on discovering who killed her parents and avenging her losses. Together with her battle partner, Jillian Blackthorn, Emma must learn to trust her head and her heart as she investigates a demonic plot that stretches across Los Angeles, from the Sunset Strip to the enchanted sea that pounds the beaches of Santa Monica. If only her heart didn't lead her in treacherous directions. Making things even more complicated, Julian's brother Mark, who was captured by the fairies 5 years ago, has been returned as a bargaining chip. The fairies are desperate to find out who is murdering their kind, and they need the Shadowhunters' help to do it. But time works differently in fairy, so Mark has barely aged and doesn't recognize his family. Can he ever truly return to them? Will the fairies really allow it? I don't know what's happening. I I think I'm going to take this off my holds list because I have Swordcatcher also on my holds list by Cassandra Clare, and I'm hoping that will kind of fill the void that I've been missing with her writing. If you have read books 5 and 6 of the Shadowhunter series or have read the Lady Midnight series and you are like, no, you have to read it, please comment, because I will. If you I can be swayed and peer pressured into things. So if you did genuinely read this and really enjoy it and highly recommend, please comment and I will put it back on my list. But for now, I'm going to remove it. Okay, and then the last book on my holds list is Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. This book has 3.93 stars on Fable. So backstory on why this one's on my holds list. I went to Puerto Rico with my family 4 months ago. Oh my god, and it was the middle of winter and I literally felt like I was dying. I needed a summer read. I needed to sit on the beach with my summer reads, and so I placed an insane amount of books on hold that gave off like summer vibes, and this series of Jenna Evans Welch was one of them. This one is going to be an easy remove for me because this is the third book in the series and I have not read the first two. So I am just gonna say we're taking this one off my holds list for right now. Somehow the other two got removed from my holds list, or maybe I checked them out when I was in Puerto Rico and I never got around to reading them, and this one just hung around. Again, this is spring cleaning. I did not even know this was still on my holds list. So I am going to remove this one from my holds list and hopefully eventually read the series. If you've read the series and you really enjoyed it, let me know. Yeah, I just never got around to it when I was in Puerto Rico. Okay, so that's it for part 1. We went through 8 books and I removed 3 of them from my list. So that's good. That's good. Yeah, so I will be uploading the next 2 parts of my holds list over the next couple of weeks. But I really appreciate you helping me go through all these books. I didn't even realize I had this many, or didn't realize I had this many and didn't know what like over half of them were about. If you have any suggestions or are really upset about certain books that I removed from my holds list, please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. I'm always looking for more book recommendations. So thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I will look forward to talking to you about the next parts. All right, bye.